Good evening and welcome. Thanks very much for tuning in to NDTV 24/7. I'm Padmaja Joshi, and on every story that matters, the buck stops here. It's been a week since Dhurandhar hit theatres, but the last 7 days have seen a meltdown of epic proportions around this movie. At the box office, make no mistake, the film is reeling in the cash, making 200 crores in just the last 7 days. But outside of the theatres, it's quite a different story. Even as people queue up at the box office to try and get a ticket, the so-called critics in India and outside of the country are practically in tears. 6 Gulf nations, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait and Oman have also now imposed a ban on Dhurandhar screening. The reason apparently behind this is the strong anti-Pakistan narrative in the film. Why anyone should have a problem with terror groups and terror sponsors being called out, your guess is as good as mine. Meanwhile, in India, what are the main problems being pointed out? Well, the film Dhurandhar has been labelled as highly toxic, majoritarian and even Islamophobic. Joining the bandwagon of these film critics is the opposition now, which has given the film a P certificate. P for propaganda. Don't you feel that Dhurandhar has unfolded a deja vu moment? This is the same opposition which protested against movies in the recent past like Kashmir Files, Kerala Story, even Bengal Files, even Haq, which basically talks about women's right to dignity. Even that got the same P certificate from these political critics. That same narrative is being spun all over again around Dhurandhar. R. Madhavan, a key cast member, has now broken his silence on this criticism. While talking to a media outlet, he said that he expected this to happen. He also said that one wonders if there's actually an agenda, considering the enormity of the backlash and how it was slowly built up, how it was fed with artificial outrage. The BJP has also slammed these critics in political parties and outside, asking whether freedom of speech and cinematic license can be a one-way street.
देखिए, ऐसा है कि बेसिकली वो पॉलिटिकल है, कम्युनल मूवी है और उसको बनवाया गया है और यूपीए सरकार को बैड नेम के तौर पर बताया गया है कि यूपीए सरकार में भ्रष्टाचार है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा। ये प्रोपेगेंडा मूवी है, जैसे केरला फाइल थी और कश्मीर फाइल है। तो ये प्रोपेगेंडा मूवी है, मोटिवेटेड है, बीजेपी फंडेड है, बीजेपी की है और मुस्लिम विरोधी भी है।
धुरंधर के नाम पर द इस्लामोफोबिया लॉबी फिर से एक बार काम पर। Now, after finding Islamophobia in CA, triple talaq, waqf law, and all other actions of the government, now even in films which are targeting Pakistan, which are exposing the true terrorist face of Pakistan, and which are hailing the manner in which our agencies work to eliminate the threat of terrorism, even in that, certain people of the Congress lobby find that it is Islamophobic, they find that it is UPA Virodhi, it is against the Congress, the film is against Pakistan. Yes, the film shows that how the template of our response to terror has changed.
And that brings me to the big questions on which the buck stops here. Is Dhurandhar about patriotism or is this really propaganda? And if it is propaganda, then what does one make of hundreds and thousands of people who over the last 7 days have gone to theatres, have given their hard-earned money and ensured that 200 crores have been made in just 7 days? Aren't the people who are the best judge actually smashing that propaganda narrative? And joining us on the show today, we have Aditya Raj Kaul, research consultant for the film Dhurandhar, and also our colleague here, senior executive editor at NDTV, author and podcaster Kushal Mehra. Political analyst Sanjay Jha, but my first question is to Arfa Khanam Sherwani, journalist and somebody who has put out multiple reviews of the film as well. Arfa, thanks very much for joining us here on the show. 200 crores earned by this film in the first week itself. Surely that is a resounding verdict by the viewers in favor of the film. Do you think at least this debate is now settled? The viewers, the audience has accepted Dhurandhar. They don't really think that it's propaganda or problematic.
I don't think profit ever will be a benchmark for anything to be moral or ethical or right or proper. So I don't think I will agree with you on this. But Padmaja, before I go on with what I want to say, I think I am now convinced. Earlier I was thinking maybe it was a coincidence that the film, the way it has been scripted and portrayed on the big screen, maybe it might indirectly benefit the ruling party. But now I'm convinced the way every single critic of this film who did not like the film, including myself, is being attacked on social media left, right and center. As a journalist, who's a political journalist, I'm not even your regular film journalist, but I thought that this film had a wider and a bigger, larger impact on our society and politics. And that's why I took a decision to watch the film and also did a review of it. The way people like me and many others are being targeted, bullied, teased and harassed and attacked, I am now convinced that this is a part of BJP and RSS's cultural project. It's no more an innocent film. So I am saying this on record that I am nearly convinced that this is not an innocent piece of work. So that is why I don't think we should even be rating this film based on, like a creative license.
Okay. Aditya, you worked on the film. Is it a part of the BJP's cultural project? Coincidentally, you're also wearing saffron, I have to point out.
Yeah, guilty as charged, Padmaja. लेकिन पद्मजा जी सबसे पहले तो मैं बहुत ही ज़्यादा धन्यवाद और
And also I'm wearing green, by the way.
अरफा जी का
Oh, you're wearing green, all right. We've clearly chosen our sides here. Yes.
नहीं, मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ और बहुत ही धन्यवाद करता हूँ अरफा जी का कि उनका एकमात्र जो क्रिटिसिज्म इसका रहा वो सक्सेस के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा मात्र रहा. मुझे लगता है बीजेपी आरएसएस का तो इससे कोई लेना देना है नहीं. मैं चाहूँगा आप इंडिपेंडेंटली इन्वेस्टिगेट करिए इसको और लोगों के सामने लाइए अगर आपके पास कोई तथ्य हैं. बट टू द ऑडियंस अ बिग थैंक यू ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द धुरंधर टीम, ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ आदित्य दार and obviously the entire star cast. I was a research consultant, so my duty with the film was to tell the audience about the reality. Now, I don't think that the Mumbai 26/11 attack was a propaganda. I don't think that the victims of the Mumbai 26/11 attack were a propaganda or a political tool. Similarly, Padmaja, I don't think that IC-814 or the Pulwama or any other terror attack has been a propaganda. Now, what is wrong with the film? I don't understand. Only factual, substantive details have been given. Even the spy theory that is in the film has been reported widely by Indian media organizations. So it is out in the open. The story of Zahur Mistry, the story of the spies, the story of all the perpetrators. Now, if they are Muslim, we are not blaming the community. We are just stating their names. We are just stating the organizations, Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed. What is wrong with it? So I personally do not believe that this is a propaganda.
Because this will end up benefiting the BJP. That is what Arfa is saying, that this will end up benefiting the BJP. And by the way, she's not the only one. I was watching some other journalist, Mubashir Lukman. He in fact insisted that Mr. Modi himself wrote the script of this film.
I don't have much to say about that. But what I will tell you, Padmaja, is that this has happened before. There is a syndicate that is working relentlessly, not just in Bollywood, but across the stream, in media, in other professions, in other domains, to completely typecast a certain audience that is nationalistic, a certain, filmmakers who are nationalistic. It happened before with the Kashmir Files, which told the story of the Islamist terrorism on the Kashmiri Pandits, on the Kashmir Valley in the last 3 to 4 decades, and it's happening again. But, Padmaja, it's the audience that is giving a loud noise on this entire matter, because 200 crore is not about valuation, it's not about the money, it's also about the social media chatter.
And
that
also,
is what
let's be very clear, we've all, in college over the last 20 years, we've seen various shades of film being made. When a Parzania is made, nobody says the Congress got it made. When Final Solution was made, it was screened in my college. Nobody said it was a Congress project or it's a cultural project by the Congress. Multiple such films have also been made. There have been Haider, there has been Shikara. Why is it that when a certain different shade of story is told, suddenly it becomes propaganda or BJP's cultural project?
Well, that's what is quite visible out here.
Arfa?
I'm sure. I think Arfa ji should speak.
Is that a question to me? Yeah.
Yes,
So
go on.
Padmaja, I'm saying my friend Aditya, I don't think, I'm not a fan of personal attacks, and this is not an attack. It is an observation that somebody who's been part of this whole project, I don't think the opinion of that person should be considered as an objective opinion. It would be like me making a news report and you asking me to make a comment on my own news report. So I don't think this should be considered as a distant, observant commentary, but leave that aside. I am being forced now here to say things which I thought were not proper for me to say. But let me tell you why I think this film is blatantly anti-Muslim. It may have been projected as being an attack on Pakistan. Do whatever you want to do, attack Pakistan, attack ISI, make a film on their military, make a film on their government, make a film on Pakistani society. Me as an Indian citizen, as a journalist who reports on India, I really don't care. But what I do care, and I'm really concerned about the way this film is being badly and hugely going to impact the 200 million Muslims who are already a big victim of the politics of Hindutva, the politics of majoritarianism for the past 11 years. There is a mighty government which is using its machinery against Muslims. It has used it on many occasions, whether it is bulldozers, whether it is bringing anti-Muslim
How will
laws,
the Indian
or
Muslim
even
be
now
impacted?
this hatred which is being spread.
How will the Indian Muslim be impacted?
Yeah, just allow me some time. That's what I'm saying. I was not even meaning to, exactly, I'm coming to this. So I am saying the kind of scenes in this film. So I'll give you an example of one scene. In this particular scene, Sanjay Dutt says something to the effect when he refers to circumcision, which is khatna. And he literally refers to the genitals, the private parts of Muslim men. When Sanjay Dutt says that, first of all, even if it's an A-rated film, how did the censor board allow such a demeaning thing for not just Indian Muslims, but Muslims in general, or men who have circumcised, genitals in general? So first of all that, and the way the crowd cheered after that very demeaning, denigrating,
But isn't Sanjay Dutt himself playing a Muslim character in the
dialogue
film?
which was uttered by Sanjay Dutt. This is just one example, Padmaja, I've just given you. I can give you at least 1 dozen such examples where Muslims in general, not Indian or otherwise, just Muslim symbols, how they've been attacked. I felt so uneasy.
Okay.
And remember, I am not even somebody who's like a deeply religious Muslim. I'm more of a social and cultural Muslim. Even then, I felt so deeply attacked, and I felt like I was being insulted sitting in that theater.
Okay, let me bring in quickly Kushal Mehra. Is these crude references are about a certain community? Kushal.
I mean, so actually, it's very interesting. I watched the movie in 2 separate theaters because I had to take my family the next time. The first time I'd gone to like a run-of-the-mill theater, and I'm not even making it up, like the 2 rows in front of me was full of Muslims whistling and cheering the movie. They loved it. Just today, it's funny, I watched the movie and I came back and I'm talking to you guys. I had to take my parents out. The guy at the valet at Geo World Plaza, he was Sajjad. So, I get out of the car. He's like, bhai, is samay aayo. He recognized me. I was like, हाँ. ऐसा क्या? Dhurandhar देखने आया? बोला हाँ. Well, must movie है भाई. Like, I don't understand. Like, so first of all, who is taking this role as the, United Indian Muslim spokesperson? Like, I don't speak on behalf of every Indian Hindu. So I'm sure, I don't want to take, what makes Arfa the spokesperson of every single Muslim? Why weren't those 2 people, why wasn't Sajjad who told me, "Arey, maja aa gaya bhai movie dekh ke. Dekho. Or, the Muslims whistling in front of me. And there were women wearing a burqa, by the way. They were in the cinema hall where I was. And they were enjoying the movie. Look, I too don't even understand how this movie's anti-Muslim angle has come. It's like, I have seen my Muslim friends crack far worse jokes in my private conversations about everything. I, as a disbeliever, like I am a very open, known disbeliever, I crack jokes about Hindus too. Like, I don't understand this whole business.
No, but there's a difference, right? In your private conversation, you cracking these jokes or your Muslim friends cracking these jokes, as opposed to a film normalizing what is a crude reference to Muslims, makes Arfa uncomfortable. And she's saying this just, very gently gets normalized, that it's okay to talk about an entire community in this fashion. It's like, a kind of a Islamophobic slur cannot be normalized by saying that, everyone uses it in their private life. Like a film using it normalizes it.
And also, Padmaja, it's not just about the Muslim community. Padmaja, just allow me 30 seconds.
Is that
just allow me 30 seconds.
Muh mein ram, bagal mein churi. Is there an unnecessary imposition of some kind of politics? Is your own politics, coloring your view of the film, Arfa?
No, like this is perpetual victimhood, Padmaja.
Perpetual victimhood.
No, Padmaja, what I'm trying to say here is that leave aside how it impacts Muslims. First of all, this is a very privileged point of view, number one. Number two, leave aside for a moment whether it is affecting Muslims or not. I am saying just think about the Hindu population. Think about the Hindu viewers. That what are you trying to tell them? How are you training them that their source of entertainment is demeaning, denigrating, cracking crude jokes on the other community, which is a minority community?
This is absurd.
Is this how you're going to,
this is
this what you're going to call entertainment?
I won't let this kind of a propaganda by Arfa.
I mean, the whole absurdity
Pakistanis
of
are
this
appreciating
drama
this film.
is
Pakistanis are coming out on social media, on
luxury.
Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and Pakistani Muslims are saying that we love this film. Do not go with a bented political mind. Go with an open mind. And we have Arfa Khanum, self-declared community leader of Muslims in India, saying that do not watch this. This is against the Muslims. This is pro-BJP. This is pro-RSS. Nothing. If you have something against the film, speak on the technical aspects. Why can't you speak on the technical aspects? There's a very popular film critic of India who did a video just before the film, and she has to delete the video. Not because of us, because she's perhaps in guilt, she's perhaps in embarrassment. And today, Arfa cannot explain to the viewer of India what is wrong with the film.
And I have
if
never
she has any evidence that BJP and RSS are
I
involved,
never
why
said
not
I'm
put that
sitting
in
here
front of
as a
us?
representative of 200 million Muslims or
Every time there is a terror attack in India, they say they are attacking the Indian Muslims. How are Indian Muslims impacted? Indian Muslims and Indian Hindus and Sikhs stand together against the Islamist terrorism from Pakistan. Now, every time we blame Pakistan, why does Arfa have a problem with that?
As an Indian citizen, I felt insulted as an Indian woman. I felt insulted as an Indian Muslim.
Like that.
And that is why, that's the whole point.
I'll give you a personal example.
Your name on X and you will know the reality of it.
Okay, when you say that how can these things be made commonplace, Ponga Pandit, for years and years we've had several portrayals of Brahmins, of pujaris in films where more often than not you used to have some pujari who turned out to be a rapist. Ponga Pandit, a guy with a chutia, used to be a comical character. Now either I can take this upon myself and say, being a Pandit myself, I take serious offense and all Hindus and all Pandits are being denigrated by Bollywood, or I can say this is just a fictional character.
And nobody takes offense of such things. There are things like Naya Mullah Kare Allah Allah, Neem Hakim Khatraye Jaan. I can give you dozens of such examples where Muslims mock themselves, or even Hindus can mock Muslims, or Muslims can mock Hindus. We've never been this sensitive until the point that it became part of the cultural project to demean and target a particular community. And I have said this on another show, I'm saying it again, I have myself liked some parts of this film where there was no denigration, diminution, and all kinds of attacks were not taking place. The cinema, the absolute, cinematography is excellent. There are some parts of the film, and that is the whole part that makes me really sad, that with this power and the creative license that the directors and the producers of this film had,
so Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Toiba should be shown as NGOs and saints working for the progress of Indian Muslims.
They could have used all of this power to make a film which brought the different sections of the society together. Why make a film which divides people? Why make a film which profits this ruling political party which thrives on divisions in the society? Why make this a film which makes a particular community feel alien?
How do we even decide something is a cultural project? Now, Arfa Khanum Sherwani, you are saying that I felt demeaned as a Muslim. Kushal has seen Sajjad in the hall, Sanjay Jha, and Sajjad told him ki bhai bada maza aaya. Leave alone Sajjad, who was the usher in that theatre, of all people, Iltija Mufti. Iltija Mufti, who cannot by any stretch of the imagination, Sanjay Jha, be called a supporter of the BJP's cultural project, has said, much outrage over Dhurandhar, but I quite liked the movie and found it interesting. The casting especially is perfection. Women, for once, as is the case in most violent Bollywood movies, were not used as props. Very well made. Now, who do I believe? Iltija Mufti or Arfa Khanam Sherwani? Sanjay Jha.
Padmaja,
Who gets to be the spokesperson of Indian Muslims today?
I like the fact that you gave
I'll just come to you, Arfa. I'll come back to you in a second,
I
please.
like the fact that you gave Iltija's example.
Okay, I'll come back to you in a second. Let Sanjay Jha speak. Sanjay Jha.
Padmaja, thanks. Good evening to you and to the panelists. I would like to start by actually quoting somebody who probably knows acting and cinema much more than anybody on the show. Let me quote to you Hrithik Roshan, probably one of the most popular actors in Hindi film industry for decades. This is what he said. I may disagree with the politics of the film and argue about the responsibility as filmmakers that we bear as citizens of the world. This is Hrithik Roshan's statement. And frankly speaking, you can't dismiss that as just a casual observation. If Hrithik Roshan, who's part of Hindi mainstream cinema and a very popular actor, questions the politics of this film, we rather take it seriously. Point
Well,
number
then
one.
I can quote to you
Can I
Akshay
finish?
Kumar, who
Yes.
said, watch
Padmaja, you
Dhurandhar
have
and I'm
asked me
blown
to
away.
come
What a
in the
gripping
end.
tale. You simply nailed it, Aditya Dhar. We need our stories to be told in a hard-hitting way, and I'm so glad the audiences are giving the film all the love it deserves. I can quote to you Allu Arjun, who said, just watch Dhurandhar, a brilliantly made film filled with fine performances, the finest technical aspects, and an amazing soundtrack, magnetic presence by my brother Ranveer Official. Now,
Okay.
I
Padmaja's-
am no judge of whether, Hrithik Roshan is superior in craft to Allu Arjun and Akshay Kumar. I don't know if you are.
Yeah. So, Padmaja, since you have called me to speak in the end, it just makes a little. You should have a dignified conversation where we get equal amount of time to make a point. The second point is crucial. Fine, all of you are more sophisticated in terms of your knowledge of Hindi cinema. I will take that point. Here is the bottom line. The bottom line is that since 2014, and I'm going to rattle for you 10 names. It's going to take me 30 seconds. The truth is that Hindi cinema has been weaponized to create and sell an ideology and promote a certain political party and its leader. Let me give you a couple of examples. Movies that have been released, and pay attention to them, I'm going to take 15 seconds. PM Narendra Modi, that was a film. Kashmir Files, we all know. Kerala Story. Article 370. Jahangir National University, poor JNU, was converted into a left liberal Islamic institution. Vaccine war. Swatantra Veer Savarkar. Godhra. The Sabarmati Report. Razakar. Akhir Palayan Kab Tak. Accidental Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. And many of these films actually released before the Lok Sabha elections. Now, I can tell you, this is unusual. I have tracked Hindi cinema for a long time.
Why?
But to see so many Hindi films, and you know what?
Why
they have a right to
why
make
should
a...
Sabarmati Files be made?
Okay,
Why
let me
shouldn't
explain to
Article
you.
370 be made?
Well, let me explain to you. There is nothing
things
wrong
happened.
for anyone to
The
make
Sabarmati
a biopic.
Express was burnt in Godhra. Why
Padmaja, if you
shouldn't
let
the
me
film be
finish
made?
a sentence.
The tragedy
if you
is
let
that
me
a
finish
film
a
wasn't made
sentence-
all of these years.
No, if you let me finish a sentence, we'll have a highly civilized output by the time the program is over. My simple logic here is, you are free to make a biopic on whoever you love. You're free to make films. You can even make a fictionalized narration based on a real event. The problem is that this is pregnant with gross distortions, exaggerations, and misrepresentation. They become part of a
What was the gross
disinformation
distortion?
campaign.
What
In
was
the
the gross
Kerala
distortion?
story,
Since we're talking about a
in the
film,
Kerala
what was the distortion
story-
in Dhurandhar? Because
One
somebody
minute.
who researched it is sitting right here, so you should
No,
ask
one
him.
minute.
Why did
Let
he
me
distort
give you
it?
one example. Let me
Yeah.
give you one. Forget Dhurandhar for a moment. I'm giving you Kerala story example that Narendra Modi.
Sir,
has
let's talk
name
about
the movie.
Dhurandhar. No, we are not
Okay,
here
okay.
to
One
speak for
minute.
some old film.
On
Padmaja.
Kerala story.
No,
the
why not Article
producer said
370?
there were
I was associated with Article 370 also.
And that no
Article
evidence
370 is a
and that no
reality. Sanjay Jha, don't spread propaganda. And you know, Sanjay Jha, I have great
Please
respect for
answer
you.
on Kerala
You're a great
story.
speaker. You're a
The
great
director
orator,
said there
Sanjay
were
Jha.
32,000
But
people.
your
Padmaja,
leader,
all of
Rahul
these
Gandhi,
evidence
says
that
that he's a
Padmaja,
Janayatari
all of
Brahmin.
these issues
And I come from the
are
same community of
ideological
Kashmiri Pandits.
agenda
So what was
of the
agenda in
100
Kashmir Files? What
This
was propaganda
is
in
the
Kashmir
ideological
files?
agenda
What
of the
about Article
BJP and
370?
RSS,
It tells
whether
the
it
reality
is
of the Hawala
Article
scam,
370
the reality
or
of the
even triple
separatists in the
talaq.
Kashmir
We
Valley.
just also
Why are you
witnessed another film
uncomfortable,
called
Arfa, suddenly? Why do you suddenly get uncomfortable when we name Islamist terrorists and Islamist terror groups?
Hello.
Padmaja,
There
I want to
goes the
reply to
propaganda
your
man.
previous
I'm just
question.
coming
Please
back to
allow
you,
me
Arfa.
time.
Let
I have
Sanjay Shah
Is
finish
the
his
real
point.
propaganda
allow me
man.
time.
And the fact that he's a consultant to the film is enough
Sir, okay.
evidence.
You know, I
of his
will not let
right-wing
this
slant.
devolve into a
Sorry.
personal attack.
Shameless and ridiculous.
I will not let this devolve into a personal attack. Anyone cannot be branded simply because you disagree with their point of view.
People of India are
as
speaking
a
of Sanjay
propaganda
Jha.
man.
Sanjay Jha, you
Point
can
out
hide in your
factual
room. You can hide in your room, but the
You
people
tell
of
him
India are
stop.
speaking.
Okay, one second.
He
1
called
second.
people
Sanjay
an
Jha, no.
Islamic
I will not
sympathizer.
allow
What
a
a joke.
personal attack on any
You
one
want to
person.
stop him?
You please name to me which exact point in the film struck you as factually inaccurate and propaganda. Name one.
In the Kerala story,
Arey, talk about
Speak about
Dhurandhar.
Dhurandhar.
I have not seen the film. Why should
No.
I? Why should I?
Why?
Why should
You
I? have
haven't
to
seen
comment
Dhurandhar, you
about
have a
it?
problem with it.
How are you debating
You
with
have
them?
already
Talking
declared it
about-
propaganda without watching it.
Hello,
This
Padmaja,
is
listen.
laughable.
I don't watch a film which is very clearly driven with an agenda to make Mr. Modi look like the Hinduism
How do you
mascot. I'm
know?
not
Funny,
interested.
hilarious.
I'm
How
not
do you
interested
know
in
if
that
you
film.
haven't watched it?
Padmaja, I need to
I have
How
read
do you
enough
know if you
reports.
haven't watched it, Sanjay Jha?
Well,
I
did
mean,
you read?
I went literally and watched every
can-
single film, even it made me uncomfortable. We
Can
watched
you-
Final
Padmaja?
Solutions. We have gone and
Well, I
watched
don't have.
Barzania.
I'm not
Padmaja.
obligated to watch a film in the first weekend. Have you read out the extract of the Film Critics Guild? Can you put it up on your show?
Okay.
Can you put
You
up
know,
what
you
the
are
Film
not
Critics Guild has
obligated
said?
to watch any film, but I
you
can't
put up what the
understand
Film
how you
Critics
can
Guild has said
critique
on the
it
criticism
without
against
actually
women?
knowing what is in it. You have deemed it propaganda without even knowing its contents. If I do not read the book, how do I know it is a bakwas book?
Well,
I need
well,
to
to
read
be-
the book to know it is bakwas.
This is
Well,
Shuddh
to be
Desi
honest
propaganda
with
by
you,
Sanjay
I
Jha.
have commented on
Shuddh
many
Desi
things. I don't
propaganda
have
by
to play
Sanjay
cricket
Jha.
to be a
Okay,
commentator.
very quickly, Kushal, and I'm
For
coming to you,
God's
Arfa.
sake.
Very quickly, Kushal.
There are 3 points. It's actually shocking to me as a person who's just seen the movie twice. I actually think the movie does a damn good job at criticism of BJP and Congress, because it starts in the NDA kind of Vajpayee era and then goes into the Congress era and then goes later on, slightly later on. It actually is pretty balanced. I think it does not show Vajpayee government in any good light either. As a person that's what I extracted out of it. I think it was critical of both the government. So that, and as far as this propaganda bit is concerned, are we that naive? Like, I don't care. सीरियसली आई जस्ट गो देयर. मैं अभी पिक्चर में जाके मोरालिटी के लेसन्स नहीं ले रहा हूँ, मैं एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए जा रहा हूँ. भाई मेरे से क्या क्या उम्मीद रखते हो? मतलब एक आदमी पिक्चर देखने जाए, उसके अंदर फिर वो जेम्स बॉन्ड के जैसे प्रोपेगेंडा ढूंढे, फिर उसके बाद भाई मैंने 500 रुपया खर्चा किया पॉपकॉर्न का और 200-300, मैं जाके पिक्चर देखने वाला हूं. तुम मेरे से क्या क्या रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट की उम्मीद कर रहे हो भाई? और ये आप एंड टू हैव दिस नाइव एक्सपेक्टेशन, मतलब हम क्या है? ओ भाई CIA 1960s में करता था प्रोपेगेंडा अपने देश के लिए. मतलब you know what worries me is there are people in this country who think the state apparatus, whether Congress or BJP, should not do propaganda against Pakistan using movies. ओ भाई कौन से लोग हैं ये लोग? मेरे को तो इनसे डर लग रहा है गवर्नमेंट से कम.
Arfa.
बहुत शॉकिंग बात मुझे यहाँ ये लगी कि हमारे दोस्त को दूसरी कम्युनिटी का जब अपमान हो रहा है और जलील हो रही है वो कम्युनिटी, उनको वो एंटरटेनमेंट लग रहा है. कल को इस तरह के लोग भी आ जाएंगे. हमने ये भी देखा है कि सड़कों पर जब बुलडोजर चल रहे होते हैं, लोगों की लिंचिंग हो रही होती है, तब भी वहां 10-20-50
आतंकवादी का अपमान कम्युनिटी का अपमान नहीं होता. आतंकवादी संगठनों का अगर अपमान हो रहा है, अरफा, लश्कर तौयबा, जैश मोहम्मद का अपमान हो रहा है, क्या वो आपका अपमान है? क्या आप स्पोक्सपर्सन बनना चाहती हैं उनका? हमारी जो फिल्म है,
Please allow me
वो आतंकवादियों के
time.
खिलाफ है,
I did
अरफा.
not interrupt you.
Okay, let us speak
Please let
uninterrupted.
me make my point. I did not interrupt you. Padmaja, you have to come in, please.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that I doubt your sense of entertainment and what really you call entertainment. Does it really entertain you when other communities are being demeaned, when they are being insulted? उनको जलील किया जा रहा है, अपमानित किया जा रहा है. That is to him. But I want to come back to your point, Padmaja. I mean, I started off with saying, and I made a serious accusation, and I said that I think, I'm nearly convinced that this is part of the cultural and the political project of the BJP and RSS. Now, you have given me Iltija's example. Now tell me, how many people people who did not like the film attacked. How many people really attacked Iltija for saying she liked the film? She is a Kashmiri, she is a Muslim, she has more stakes in both in Kashmir and even in rest of India. How many people from the liberal community, people like me, attacked? I mean, she can like or dislike, or you can like or dislike. Now the problem here is, I am telling you my story. I was about to record a video before I appeared on your show. I spoke with 5 film critics, and because of the reasons of privacy, I cannot show you their messages, Padmaja. They are reputable and really kind of big influencers in the Bollywood. All 5 of these critics say, please Arfa ji, you tell us whichever other film you want us to comment on. We will happily come on your show and will comment. हम इस film को हाथ नहीं लगा सकते.
Okay,
We cannot touch
I have
this
to
film.
come in here.
That is the level of bullying.
Right on
and
this
it is
show,
not the filmmakers.
Sanjay Jha called Aditya Raj called Mr. Propaganda. So this is not a one-way street. Listen, we are all here in the public eye. I will show you my own timeline. You know, when we had Yami Gautam and Imran Hashmi. Yami Gautam and Imran Hashmi came to our studio, and when I played that interview, there was a string of abuses under that video telling me how I have sold out, how I am a part of the cultural project, how this is anti-Muslim propaganda, how I am against Muslim women. So this is a two-way street. Look, on public platforms, abuse happens. Sometimes it gets out of hand, but that's just how it is.
It is an organized attack.
The women have been given rape threats.
Padmaja, it is an
I am given rape
organized
threats.
attack on everybody.
I am given rape threats.
No matter how influential.
So, we are
all
there on
people who
social
did
media,
not
and
like the
terrible as
film
it is,
and have
there are
posted
idiots out there on
negative
social media. What do you do about it?
You know,
I can either keep saying that the Joshi community is under attack, or I can just suck it up, because that's how life is.
You know, the only thing organized, Padmaja, is the love for the film, and the people of India have spoken. And since Arfa and Sanjay ji have so much problem, I have to quote here that immediately after the film got released, Sanjay ji, I received a message from my Kashmiri Muslim friend Suneem Khan in Kashmir. And this is what he said. He says, please convey my earnest congratulations to Aditya Dar and the entire team for producing a genuine cinematic masterpiece. Directing such a talented ensemble cast with such impeccable control is no small feat. And the result is even more remarkable given the masterful delivery archived by Akshay Khanna. The film Dhurandhar most certainly embodies the fearless spirit and aspirations of the new India. This is a Kashmiri Muslim friend speaking, not a political party spokesperson. This is the reality. And this is what you're witnessing on social media. It's not paid PR. Dhurandhar is the first film where no paid PR, no interviews, nothing happened. So what is the problem? If Pakistani sponsored terrorism is exposed.
Conversation on Sajad, somebody's anecdotal story. I mean, for God's sake.
But this is an
actual broad daylight.
Okay, let me ask you a straightforward question. Just a second. Arfa, you've been saying for very long, an entire community is maligned. Name me, since you watched the film, name me one Indian Muslim who has been shown in a bad light in the film.
Doesn't matter. Muslim symbols are attacked.
How does
what
it
is
matter?
important is Muslim
So are we
symbols are
saying,
attacked.
just a second, are we then saying that the film Munich, which showed the Hamas attack on Israeli athletes, is anti-Muslim? Are we saying Schindler's List is anti-German?
I gave you one example. I gave you one example of the private parts of Muslim men, which was made to be a subject of ridicule.
Jokes about all kinds of people.
Another point is,
do you know there was a film called Gunda, which had a man with a choti, and his name was Chutia. It is actually an extremely denigrating reference to Brahmins who keep that kind of shikha. Now, either people can say that we are under siege in our own country, or we can take it as some cinematic liberty.
Anybody who is an adversary of this political party in power, they are being portrayed in poor light. So these kind of dialogues, ye Bharat hai, naya Bharat hai, ghar mein ghus ke marega, all kinds of dialogues. What other really proof do you need to prove that this particular film is just a propaganda for this political party and for the government?
That's a good point. When this whole Naya Bharat narrative, that's a good point. Kushal Mehra,
I gave you at least 3 solid examples. First of all, nobody should be allowed to ridicule a particular community, that too in a very
There is no ridiculing of political community. There is the only ridiculing is of terror groups. I maintain that the only ridiculing is of terror groups. We are factually telling us, and so much factual that even Pakistanis are appreciating the film.
that the
all across the
censored
world, the
board of India
Pakistanis are
actually
appreciating, they're
cleared
watching the film,
this
and
particular
I do not
scene and
understand
many
still.
other scenes
And people on
when
social media,
Muslims are
lakhs of
being
them, do
shown
not
in
understand
red
what
lights.
Arfa's problem is. संजय जी पर तो नहीं आऊंगा मैं, उन्होंने तो फिल्म ही नहीं देखी है.
Kushal
Well,
Mehra,
there's a
you know,
report-
when this
there's a
whole
report
thing
you
of
must know.
ये नया भारत है, घर में घुस के मारता है, it seems to be reading from the BJP's playbook.
तो यार मेरे को एक बात बताओ कि मतलब what level of infantilization does Arfa want? भाई मैं एक mature adult हूँ, मैं पिक्चर देखने जा रहा हूँ, मुझे कोई ऐसे आके ना ऐसे मुझे घुट्टी पिलाएगा और मैं पी नहीं लेने वाला हूँ. I mean, for example, I might go and watch a religious film.
नहीं
ऐसे नहीं
दोस्त, बताइए आप कंफर्टेबल हैं कि आपके प्राइवेट पार्ट्स के बारे में मजाक किया जाए, अपमान किया जाए? मुझे एक सवाल का जवाब दीजिए आप.
आतंकवादी और गैंगस्टर तो करते हैं ना, उनकी लैंग्वेज ही वो है. आप रिसर्च तो कीजिए थोड़ा.
स्टैंड अप कॉमेडी बंद कर दो.
Padmaja, I'll read out a report that is very relevant in today's discussion.
Just a second, Arfa and Kushal, yes.
Yeah.
अब पद्मजा टेल मी, ये कौन है यार? ये फिल्म क्रिटिक अभी मुझे बताएंगे. मेरे को पिक्चर देखनी है, मैं देखूंगा, मुझे अच्छी लगी, नहीं लगी यार. ये मतलब मुझे तो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है हम लोग कर क्या रहे हैं. नहीं, वो आदरणीय है, इसके लिए उनका ओपिनियन मैटर करता है. वो क्या पता नहीं 4 किलो एक्स्ट्रा है उनका वजन, जो मैं सुनूं उनको जाके. मुझे जो देखना है मैं देखूंगा, मुझे जो नहीं देखना है मैं नहीं देखूंगा. मतलब ये तो ऐसा हो गया, तू देखेगा पिक्चर क्यों? क्योंकि मैंने बोला तुझे देखने को. भाई क्या हम पागल हो गए हैं इस देश में कि हम लोग एक अरे पिक्चर है, देखनी है देखो, नहीं देखनी नहीं देखो. कॉमेडियन है, सुनना है सुनो, नहीं सुनना है नहीं सुनो. मैं वो आदमी हूं जो कुणाल कामरा को भी सपोर्ट करने के लिए उतरा था. संजय झा जानते हैं, संजय झा के साथ ही उतरा था कुणाल कामरा को सपोर्ट करने के लिए. कौन सा मैं कुणाल कामरा की पॉलिटिक्स से एग्री करता हूं, मगर मैं कुणाल कामरा के लिए भी उठा था. यार हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? आर वी इन्फेंटिलाइजिंग पीपल? कि मैं कोई 2 साल का बच्चा हूं, मुझे कोई आके बताएगा तू है ना, और सुन ओए पुत्र, तू ऐसा नहीं करना, तू ये सुनेगा.
Such a privileged point of view that is.
इसमें privilege क्या है?
I agree with Kushal.
No, how is this a privileged point of view? Look, all kinds of rubbish sometimes is made in the film industry.
Because you do not
Being a
belong
woman,
to-
if you
because
are
my friend
saying,
who's
if
just
you are
commented
saying
does
that
not
this
belong to
crude
a community
reference to
which is
private
already
parts
under-
denigrates an
which is
entire
already
community,
being attacked.
there are crude references made in so-called
let me-
comedy
let me
movies
rebut
to
Arfa
women.
Khanum Sherwani.
Now, am I supposed to
Arfa,
get
I
onto
am
the
a
streets and say
disbeliever.
women
I
are
am
under
actually
attack
a
thanks to the Hindi film industry because somebody made a cheap joke about women's private parts? No. Some rubbish is made. Don't watch it. Some good films are made which will have one reference, which for entirely different reasons are picked
I don't know.
up.
I mean,
I will give you another point. Can you give me
the
a
only
moment
thing
to speak
I can
here?
think about right now is, and I hate to do that. I mostly hate to do that, to draw any parallels with Nazi Germany. But now I think I'm being forced to give this example. I want to give you an example of triumph of the will. I'm sure as a student of communication like I am, you would also understand the kind of havoc this one documentary which was produced and directed and supported by Hitler, and the kind of hate
Then why
and
is Iltija Mufti
demonization
praising it?
and
Are you
propaganda
saying that
it
Iltija
spread
Mufti
against
is in
Jews
some way
in
aligning
Germany?
with
The
Nazi
same
Germany?
Kind of, no, I am saying
Or
the
Nazi-like
same kind
propaganda
of
in India?
propaganda is being spread. The same kind of propaganda is being spread against Indian Muslims here.
Okay, make your point, Sanjay Jha. Make your point. Make your final point, please.
The
Yes.
similar kind of communication.
Just one minute. Arfa, let me finish. In the film, and this is from a very respected journalist, there is a reference to fake currency in the country coming in from Pakistan, and apparently the man who's acting as Mr. Doval says somebody will come in the future and clean up the act. It's a blatant political project. They talk about a leader who will emerge in the north part of India and address all the problems of
Maybe it is
Hindu-
you.
बताओ भाई
It's a
आदित्य,
blatant
Maybe it is Sanjay
sellout.
Jha.
बताओ
It's
ये
a
क्यों डाला है?
Maybe it is
BJP का
Sanjay Jha
propaganda.
who will have the power to clean up the system. Who knows?
No,
It's a
why did you
blatant
I'll
insert
just-
this? You know,
I'll just
talk
request
about this
Sanjay Jha and
reference.
others to come on March 16 and watch the film, March 19 and watch the film.
No,
Now,
but
can you
what do you
deny
say
what I
about this
just said?
particular example given? He is
Can you
saying
deny
that
this
this
fake
entire
currency
idea
in
of
the
black
film?
money and eventually being cleaned up by a leader in the future,
Yes.
presumably referring to Mr. Modi, that is what shows that this is politically aligned and it was aimed
Exactly.
politically.
So tell me, Mr. Jha, what is wrong with it?
Exactly.
You know, everything
I'll tell
that
you
has
what
been
is wrong.
reported by the Dawn newspaper in Pakistan
I'll tell you.
and the newspapers of India
There
has
is
been
nothing
reported.
wrong.
So what is the
Okay,
problem with
Aditya,
it?
I'm glad you asked me that
There's
question
nothing
because you know
wrong
what is the
with
truth?
the male
Fake
genital
currency
of a
notes are
particular
up by
community being
37%
ridiculed.
in 2025.
See, it is not a
So,
documentary.
this
It is
the
not
way
a
you have
documentary on fake
distorted
currency,
entire
Mr.
political
Jha. You made your political
communication.
point. Everybody appreciated in the Congress party. Don't worry. But
You
this
know-
is not a documentary.
You know, I'm going to just end it over here with the simple thing
It's
that
a
time
sellout.
and again, when there were people who wrongly opposed films like Padmavat, they thought that it was bad for their culture, it showed them in a denigrating fashion. We stood for the freedom of speech, and it was said if you don't like it, you don't watch it. The similar philosophy should be applied to this film as well. Simply because you don't agree with its politics or what you think are its politics, you cannot shoot it down by calling it a piece of propaganda and shame and gaslight people who are actually liking it, whether they are Hindu, Muslim or something else. Anyway, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, so maybe go out there, watch this film and make up your own mind. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, and Arfa Khanum Sherwani for having joined me.